Are you actually able to charge more now for whatever capacity you have to store oil?
Good morning, Joe. We are not full in the sense that, let's just use very large crude carriers that each hold 2 million barrels. About 100 of these vessels are now deployed in storage around the world. So, that's about 200 million barrels. And then you probably have a similar number, maybe 100 Suezmaxes that each hold 1 million barrels, also deployed in storage. So, we have 800 VLCCs in the world. So there is a lot more capacity at sea that can be put to work storing barrels for customers.
So that sounds like the solution that we alluded to. What's the problem? How do we get to that point?
Well, we are a part of the solution. So as there is excess supply and the demand hit the coronavirus wall and dropped off, all around the world, there are, various producers looking for storage. And particularly if you're landlocked, that can be a challenge. It can cause you to do shut-ins. First area shut in Canadian tar sands. But for us, we are a piece of the solution. And for the last 2 months, we've seen a very steady inquiry from all of our customers to store oil at sea on our ships. And now, in addition to the crude carriers, you're also seeing that happen on the product carriers. So we have 41 tankers. We have 13 of these VLCCs, but we also have some of the smaller product carrier vessels. And because refineries haven't been able to ramp down and quite figure out the balance, now you're starting to see products, jet fuel, gasoline, diesel oil, also stored at sea on these other vessels. So we're seeing it across the space, and indeed our rates are quite high at present.
Rates are high, and your stock is almost it's doubled from the lows. Do you think at this point that it will be reflected in your results? It just doesn't seem like a good time for anything energy related. But you can actually you can flourish in an environment like this because you're able to. The rates actually go up, which seems right. Bad for the people that have nowhere to put the oil. That they got to pay more to just store it.
Well, I think that the entire energy complex is seeking a balance, right? So there is a lot of production ramping down. And then on the other side, you already see China opening up. They are probably 8 weeks ahead of us. And what we really want to see ultimately is strong demand. We had very good demand fundamentals going into the year. We don't have a very big order book of new buildings coming into our fleet. So, we were shaped up in nice position. And as we see the world try to equilibrate, the oil tankers play a pretty critical role right now in allowing that to happen. The reality is the contango, or the very cheap oil today and much more expensive oil further out, actually pays for the customers to go ahead and store the oil. So it is not, they're able to lock in those profits on paper, and I think it doesn't terribly disadvantage them.
So are we going to mess this up and convert too many of these big ships to storage so that when we need them for transport, they're unable to do that? We'll have what? Well, then we'll be converting them back into transport ships.
Well, yes. And when you say convert, Joe, it's we have stored before. It simply means you load the same load you'd normally load, and you just might be waiting off Singapore or the U.S. Gulf somewhere for final orders to discharge. So when the demand gets there and the demand is restored, then there will be an incentive for our customers to go ahead and deliver those barrels. So I think that, it's a market that balances itself. And, for us, it is certainly a time when, we're able on one of our VLCCs, let's just say you were able to secure a time charter at $80,000 per day, and you have a break even below 25. So you're really looking at, if you earn that for a year, you can add 20 million in EBITDA to your bottom line. So it's a period of prosperity for our ship owners. And it's a critical piece of the solution for facilitating as oil companies decide how are they going to ramp down the production, how extreme do they want to shut in their fields.